Hey everybody, welcome to Robert's English Classroom. Are you ready to practice some English vocabulary and conversation? Yeah? Well then let's go. And hello everybody, welcome back to Robert's English Classroom. Today's topic is back to school vocabulary. And I chose this because now is back to school time when I'm making this lesson. So I figured it's appropriate, all right? So let's start off with some kind of higher level advanced vocabulary and conversational vocabulary that we use when talking about universities or high school education, all right? So let's start with the first one here. In fact, this slide is all about money, this first slide. So the first word is tuition, okay, tuition. Now, tuition is the cost or the price that you pay for studying at a school, okay? Only the classes, all right? Not the food, not the living, but only the classes. And that's called tuition. Now, some schools have a high tuition. Some schools have a low tuition, okay? In the USA, a lot of university tuition is quite high, okay? So it's the money that you pay for classes. And my example here is, I really want to go to that university in America, but the tuition is really high. Now, if you have high tuition, then you can think about getting a scholarship. Now, a scholarship is some organization or even the school itself giving you the tuition money to study at the school. But you need to apply for a scholarship and give them, probably need to write some things, give them grades, whatever they want. And then the organization or the school decides, okay, we will give you a scholarship. Now, some scholarships are full scholarships, 100%, and that covers everything, living, food, tuition, okay? And some students get that for 4 years. That's a great deal. Some scholarships are just pieces or percentages of the tuition. So it depends what you apply for. So a scholarship is when an organization or the school gives you the tuition to study there. June got a scholarship to study at Harvard. They liked her, and she won't pay anything for 4 years. 4-year scholarships, really nice. Now, the last one is student loans. And if you don't have the cash to pay tuition and you can't get a scholarship, then you can get a student loan. And a student loan can come from a bank or some special banks that give student loans for people who are studying, okay? But the problem with student loans is you need to pay interest and you need to pay over time, but you can pay the tuition slowly. So a student loan is when a bank gives you the money to study at a school, but you have to pay it back with interest over many years. Dave is on a tight budget. He has a lot of student loans to pay for his kids for the next 10 years. Have you had to pay student loans, or do you pay student loans for somebody else? Now, this slide are types of students, kinds of students. And the first one here is undergraduate versus postgraduate. Now, an undergraduate student or undergrad, okay, are students that are studying at the college level. So between 3 and 4 years, okay? Actually 1 to 4 years, but it'll take you 3 or 4 years to finish, all right? Those are called undergraduates. Postgrads are doing a master's degree or PhD. So they finish undergrad and then they do postgraduate work, okay? Now, POST, post means after, so after graduation, right? Postgraduate. So Kelly will finish her undergraduate studies next year, and she is thinking of doing some postgraduate studies after. Now, the next one is alumni. Okay, now alumni are students who have graduated from a school and they become the school's alumni. So they have graduated and finished the program. So let's say Harvard. If you went to Harvard in the USA and you graduated, and you can graduate undergrad or postgrad, then you are an alumni of Harvard, okay? And every year, universities will have an alumni party or an event, and a lot of universities like to ask alumni to donate money to them um, for the future of the school, okay? So alumni are students who have already finished studying at a school and have graduated. They are alumni from that school. This year, my high school will hold a big alumni party for students who graduated in 1990. And yes, your high school can have alumni, right? You're an alumni from high school. Okay, next to GPA. GPA, which means grade point average. Now, think about your grades at school, at least in the USA. If you get an A, it's 4 points. A B is 3 points. A C is 2 points. A D is 1 point. An F is 0. Okay. If you average them together, it becomes your grade point average. Now, a perfect grade point average is 4.0. Okay. That's great. All A's all the time. But other people have 3 point something or 2 point something or 1 point something, right? So that's your GPA or grade point average. Not only is Ray the best basketball player in school, but he also has a 4.0 GPA. Wow, super Ray. Mel isn't doing well in her classes. She only has a 2.0 GPA. She needs some help. Okay. Now, plagiarism is a serious offense in schools. Plagiarism is when you use another person's work and say it is your work. Okay, you don't say that the other person did this work first. So you might be doing research or writing a paper. Okay, that's called plagiarism. And plagiarism is cheating because you use another person's work and writing and then say it's your work. Okay, and professors do not like plagiarism. Universities do not like plagiarism. And unfortunately, there's a lot of plagiarism around. And especially with like ChatGPT now, it's easy to kind of plagiarize and then change it with ChatGPT so it doesn't look like you plagiarized, you know? All right. So many students handed in homework that was plagiarized from students at another school. Okay. Using ChatGPT is difficult for professors to find plagiarism. Okay, so it's cheating and it's a serious offense in schools. You can get kicked out for that. Okay. Last two, the difference between a lecture and a seminar. Okay, these are kinds of classes you might see at a high school or university. Now, a lecture usually has a lot of students and then a speaker in the front, okay, like a professor. And the speaker is talking to you. It's one-way communication, all right? And the lecturer, and you see here, lecture is what he is doing. The person is called a lecturer, wants to share ideas and knowledge with you. But usually there's no feedback from the audience unless the professor asks for some questions, okay? The economics professor gives 40-minute lectures in every class. The students just sit there and listen. It's a bit boring. And sometimes lectures are boring. But maybe you're lucky enough to have a seminar class, okay? A seminar is a smaller group and it's not one way. The professor will talk, but then wants to hear other students' ideas and have a discussion and share. That's the point of a seminar. And my college had seminars because it was a small place and we had small classes. And seminars were much more interesting to go to. I just attended a seminar about AI computing. It was really interesting and other students shared their ideas with the group. Okay, so lecture or seminar, have you had those kinds of classes at college? Okay, let's review. Okay, first one, tuition, scholarship, student loans. Tuition is the amount of money you pay for classes at school. Scholarship is free money or money that the school or an organization might give you to study. And student loans are a bank or a organization will lend you the money with interest to pay your tuition. Okay. Next is undergraduate, postgraduate, and alumni. Undergraduates are students who are at a university 1 to 4 years. Postgraduate is after you graduate, you will get a master's or PhD. You are a postgrad. And alumni are people that already graduated from a school. You become an alumni of that school. GPA, grade point average, the average of all your grades. Plagiarism is cheating, using another person's work and saying it's your own work. And last is lecture versus seminar. A lecture is a lot of students, one-way communication from the professor or the lecturer, and a seminar is a smaller group with a lot of discussion in the class, okay? Lecture or seminar. And that will finish up our lesson. Question of the lesson, please put it in the comment box if you'd like. Do you pay or have you paid student loans before? Was it a lot? And how many years did it take for you to pay it off? Okay, so my question is, have you paid student loans? And do they do that in your country? And are you still paying or have you finished paying them off? Okay, thanks everybody, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.